Now moving further with the topic, let us try to understand the approaches of management. There are different ways in we understand the management concept in action. One of the approach is the functional approach. Now functional approach basically helps us to understand the basic fundamental functions of management. In the 19th century, when the developments of the contributions were being made, Henry Fayol talked about the managerial approach towards the management, and he contributed five major functions for any management activity, in which he talked about the planning, organizing, leading, controlling, and also staffing. But then with the several developments, the major functions of management were restricted towards these four important elements and aspects of the process of activity, because the staffing is all about recruitment, selection of the people and the human resource in an organization, while management talks about management of all the resources. So if we talk about general management, it is not just only about people, it is about the other resources as well. Hence, there are four basic functions of management, which is planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. We will discuss these each function in detail in the further modules of the course. However, very briefly, let us try to understand this functional approach. Functional approach talks about four essential pillars of this whole process of management, which starts with the planning. Now, if you have to manage something, there has to have a purpose for it, and that purpose comes with the planning. If there are no plans, you cannot proceed anywhere, you cannot do anything. That means ultimately we could say that what is going to be done is going to be decided by the function of planning. Planning talks about defining the goals, elaborating the objectives, selecting the path, and also deciding in advance the future course of action. So it is like what is going to happen in managing the activity has to be decided in advance at the first step, and that first step in itself is to plan. You have to decompose the problem in smaller part to understand that what exactly is the purpose that you are going to align the resources towards. So it talks about what is to be done, when is to be done. It talks about deciding in advance that how the things are going to take place and what things are going to take place. So it responds to the question of what, when, and why of any of the activity. That why are you doing something? You have to plan all these things. When we talk about the second function of a management, it is about organizing. Now organizing talks about what needs to be done, how it will be done, who is going to do it. It is about connecting with the resources at the time of plans to transform them into a reality and into an action. So organizing is something that talks about connecting the links, connecting the dots of the activity. So it talks about how the things will be achieved, whatever you are planning. So it's a very essential activity, and it talks about connecting the links of the whole activity. Leading is the force, we could say, that directs the actions of the people in a process of management. So directing and motivating parties involved are very, very important, because it is the force, it is the glue, which we could say, that binds all the resources and factors together. Working in a scenario, working in different context, working with different people requires a source of motivation and guidance. So that is something very, very important. If we talk about the importance of leading, it's basically giving a direction to the goal achievement. So it's very important that there has to be a force that will lead to. So it is very important to understand the importance of leading, because it talks about constant guidance, constant coaching, constant discussions. So it is like whenever you are undertaking an activity, the source of direction is very important. Plus at the same time, the human are not enthusiastic all the time. Whoever people or the team of people are working together, they will not be working in the same enthusiasm with the motive that they started the activity with. So to keep that enthusiasm going, to keep that flow of activity in a desirable direction, in a desirable manner, a kind of force that is guiding you, leading you, and motivating you is essential. So leading is another very important function of management, and the success of management depends upon the success of guidance was there in the whole process. And controlling, it talks about the monitoring of the activity. Now monitoring the gaps is very important. So control is all about focusing on the gaps, a gap between what you have planned and what your goals are. So there will always be certain kind of discrepancies with that what you are planning, and when you are executing it, there can be certain kind of other situations and factors that play a role. For example, the kind of schedules that you have planned, that today you are going to meet, the other person could not reach on time, or even if you have planned, let us say, the weather conditions were not suitable for the day to schedule that event. So it's basically a lot of other factors are there that also has to be controlled when you are planning and executing things. So it talks about monitoring, and this monitoring is a very essential step in management of activities, because it talks about utilizing the resources in the right direction and also reducing any wastage or redundancy. So these four functions are very essential and related to each other. Let us try to understand it from a small example also. Just imagine that you are organizing a HR meet for your college. What activities are you going to undertake to organize this event? So you will start by planning the idea for this program, the very purpose of conducting this event, that when this event is going to be scheduled, who are the people who need to be called upon, what will be the themes that will be discussed, who are the people that will be working as a core team, what are the other members will be doing. All these things, short objectives, some kind of goals will be set at this stage. That starts with planning the idea of the event that has to be organized. Now the kind of other resources which are required, what will be required, who will do what, all these things will be done at the initial stage of setting the idea. And then of course you move towards reaching out to these team members or different kind of resources. You will be connecting the dots of capital requirement also, that what is the budgeting that you have planned according to the need of the event, according to the need of the situation. You will be reaching out to the fund collection, then you're looking for the sponsors, then you meet the different kind of people who can support this idea. Then you will also meet the different kind of team members. You will collect a certain kind of ideas from them. So collectively, basically it is about organizing the resources together which are required to transform this plan into the execution. And then of course coaching and mentoring is very important for organizing any event or any activity. So you will be looking out to your seniors or your faculty members to guide you, to consult certain kind of things that you want to discuss an idea with them, take second opinions from them, or you can even ask for certain kind of force that will help you to motivate other people also and yourself as well. So it is about a teamwork wherein the direction is very, very important, and the direction comes from the right leadership. The right amount of leadership, the right motivation at the right time is very, very important. So that force is very important, and that is why you look up to that kind of force that will help you not just only to keep moving in a direction of attainment of the goal and conducting this event, but it is also about a certain kind of guidance is required. Meanwhile, you look for some mentors also to get better understanding of the situation and the execution of the plan. The fourth stage talks about controlling, and of course you set certain kind of indicators, we could say the key performance indicators that you have established, and these KPIs basically help you to compare with your plans and the kind of achievements that you are gaining at different stages. So these KPIs will be about maybe the budgets. It is also about the kind of layout of the event, the kind of venue that you are planning for, the kind of food that you are looking for to serve, and hospitality needs, and different kind of other requirements of the participants and the members. So controlling is about monitoring the activities going as per the plan, and if there are discrepancies, to control them within the span of time. And it's not just only end here by within the duration of the activity. Controlling is also something that talks about learning from the execution of the task, that what are the discrepancies, and those discrepancies will help you to lead this kind of activity for the next time. So it's basically learning from the feedbacks, learning from the outcome of the activity also, that what you had planned and what you have executed. So if there are gaps in between, those gaps becomes a very strong learning insights for the people organizing the activity. And that is why we say that management is a regular activity. Management is a continuous activity because it keeps on going. So these functions are interrelated, they work together, and they are very essential to organize any event. And that is why management is what management does. Philosophy justifies the concept of the functional process, because what management is performing is actually the function that management aims at. So the functions, so what management is performing is basically its essential functions through which we could see the management in action. So functional perspective of management talks about how the management will be proceeding from one step to another step, and how these steps are interrelated for the success of any goal achievement and achieving the desirable output. Let us also try to understand the process of management. If we could see these four essential functions of management, which is planning, organizing, leading and controlling, we could see that there is a sequential relationship between these functions. Now, when we say sequential, it is like obviously what you are planning. When you understand the problem statement, and you understand what next to be done to organize these events, you will be reaching out to the resources. So if we talk about the stage one of any management process, that starts with planning, to get an idea of that what you are going to do. It's basically about a blueprint of the activity that tells you in advance that what you are supposed to be dreaming of and how you are expecting your outcome to be. So this basically step talks about the planning concept of any of the activity that requires management, and in that you reach out to the organizing of the resources, which is your inputs, and that inputs could be your people, your tangible, intangible resources. That could be capital, that could be the equipments or the machines, or you will be dealing with certain kind of other resources. It could be time. So all these are the factors that talks about the inputs that will be utilized, and these inputs have to be connected together and linked together for the purpose of organizing this activity. Then we could say obviously guiding and motivating is very, very important. So leading is all about that force that is required in the process that we have just learned through example also. And of course identifying gaps and controlling them. Monitoring and evaluating the alternatives as well, and it requires the whole process of controlling the discrepancies between the plan and the actions which are in the process of this management. Now all these processes we could see that they are interlinked. None of the step is happening in vacuum. None of the step is, you could say, can be performed in isolation. Whatever you are planning, if it is not organized, if it is not guided well, if it is not leading towards a direction, if the gaps are not controlled and not monitored, then there is no essence of planning. Same is the case with organizing. Whatever resources that you have collectively organized together, if they are not proceeded further in a direction, and if there are no goals, if there are no proper targets which are planned well, then of course there is no purpose of organizing the resources together, because in any way they are going to be a futile activity. Same is the case with leading. So it is like you cannot lead if there is no plan, because there has to be a direction, there has to be a back-end resources that need to be organized in a manner, and you guide them and motivate them for a purpose. So if there is no purpose, if there is no direction, there is no concept of leading at all. So none of the feature we could say that can be performed in isolation. They are all interlinked, and we could see a very general understanding of a function approach in a sequential manner, that what you plan, you organize, then you require certain kind of force that will keep on the activity in flow and acts as a force of motivating it. Plus, the controlling step and a monitoring step is very essential, that whatever KPIs that you have set to achieve, you are also assessing them. Alternatively, you are also monitoring them. You are also taking care of that they are not going beyond what you have budgeted and what standards you have set. At least they should reach to that benchmark. So, these are sequentially connected with each other. However, it is not always all the time that a manager will perform a activity of management, or any managerial activity will be performed in this sequence only. Like a manager many of the times have to plan as well as organize things simultaneously. A manager do also have to perform the role of leading simultaneously in all the other stages. So we could say that managers were being seen involved in all of these functions simultaneously, sometimes parallel. They perform the planning also and leading also, because at the time of planning also there is some kind of motivation required, certain kind of guidance is essential. When you are organizing resources, you need to have a proper force that will motivate you, that will keep you enthusiastic to reach out and invest those efforts into the process. So we see people performing managerial functions back and forth, and they are not always linear in nature. So we could say that the managerial functions are sequential, but they may not always be linear, and they may be sometimes non-linear as well. So their relationship is connected, they are knotted with each other. However, their sequence may or may not be linear. Let us now understand the difference between administration and management. So, administration is a top level activity where is being performed by the top level officials, and it talks about the long term planning of a organization. So, the larger the organization, there will be a need of an administration. The level of the top echelon will be different, and they will be dealing with some strategic matters. While if we look at management, it requires at all levels, and especially when whatever has been defined and designed by the administrative level, it has to be delegated further to the other levels so that it can be managed well. So therein we could have to also reflect on the difference between the administration and management, because they also coexist in an organization and they are blended together, and the more the administration and management are working in sync with each other, more the organization is functioning smoothly. So it's also important to understand the differences. Let us see a difference based on their roles. The basic purpose of administrative activities is to formulate the policies and the strategies in a company. So we could say the rules, regulations, or the culture in an organization, all of these have been established by the administration. So their role is more is to establish and to harness something in an organization, whether it is a policy, whether it is a mission, whether it is a vision of an organization. So the broad objective or a purpose of an organization has to be established and founded by the administration of any organization, while the role of a management is to execute that formulated policies. So it's basically about executing the formulated policies. The role of management is to execute the administrative policies and implement those policies in an organization successfully and in a unified direction. The role of administration is strategic in nature, because they are talking about setting the vision. So this is more strategic, this is more long term, this is more in a direction of defining that what an organization exists for, what an organization will do, and what is the vision of an organization. So giving a broad purpose for organization is more strategic in nature, because herein the administrative people are more involved in taking long term decisions. For example, investments for the next 10 years, that where the company is going to move in a direction for the next 10 years. This kind of vision has to be established, and these kind of decisions are more strategic in nature because it talks about long term planning. While if we look at the role of a management, they are more in a supervisory role, because they will be monitoring the activities which has been established by the top level administrations, and the policies, the kind of vision which has been established has to be transformed into some short-term objectives which are specific and measurable and time-bound so that they can be executed well. So the role of administration is more strategic in nature, while the management is more executive in nature because they are executing the strategies defined by the top administration. So administration is in the upper echelon, they are the top level managers, while if we talk about the middle and the lower level echelon, it is the management wherein we could see different types of managers working. In the upper echelon, we could see some kind of titles, for example, the CEO, for example, of an organization, or we could say some president or vice president post, or we could say some kind of finance officers are there. These are the titles that we could generally see in a top administration of an organization, or if it is a university, it could be a vice chancellor, that could be in the administration. While if we see at the middle and the lower level, titles like general manager, or we could say some regional manager will be there, or even at the lower level we could say some kind of frontline managers will be there. So these are certain titles that are basically used at the middle and the lower level echelon, and collectively they are known as the middle level and lower level managers. The role or the function of administration is to harness a culture and a value. It is like how the people in an organization and how the stakeholders in an organization will be treated, what kind of values will be nurtured. This is the responsibility of the administration. They are the ones who are going to establish the values and the vision for the company, while to foster them, to sustain them, and to put them into practice and to keep them into the regular activities is the role and responsibility of the management. So we could say that founding the culture and the value in an organization is the responsibility of administration, while to sustain that kind of culture in an organization through practices, through policies, through day-to-day functioning is the responsibility of the management. If we could see that administration is more involved in the long-term planning, and obviously the nature of planning is strategic, we could compare it with the middle level managers or lower level managers. The nature of their activities is more operational in nature because they are executing the plans, they are transforming the plans into action. So basically they are more operative, they deal with more tactical tasks, they deal with more of the decision making which is more related to day-to-day operations. So the comparison between the nature of decisions of administration, we could say that it is a long-term planning, while the managers at the middle and the lower level, they deal with day-to-day planning. So that is also a difference to understand between administration and management, and these two work together for the betterment of the organization and the successful achievement of the goals, because if the vision are set right and if they are not transformed into some realistic objectives, management will fail. But if a management is sound enough and administration is not capable to take strategic decisions, then obviously an organization in the longer run will fail, because they both work together for the betterment and achievement of the goal and the very purpose for which the organization exists. Now also let's understand that why it is required to study management, why we are talking about management as a subject and as a discipline when management is such a basic activity and we need management in our daily lives. So every individual knows what management is in a layman term, but why we are studying it as a discipline, why we are talking about it as a subject and a discipline, what is so important about management? Then to understand this, we also have to reflect on its need. The management need is everywhere, that it is required at organizations, and in organization it is required in all types of organization. Now an organization can be a profit making organization, just like for example any textile industry who are working for profit, who are hiring people for the purpose of transforming the activities of the textile industry and achieving those objectives, giving them salaries, hiring good managers, hiring skilled people in their factories so that they could generate some quality output. So all these efforts are required in a profit making organization, while if we look at a non-profit making organization, for example churches, non-government organizations which are non-profit organizations, there also we could say that because people work together, some kind of management activities has to have their place in it, and if there is no management, the activities cannot be organized together. So management is required in all types of organizations, whether profit making or not profit organization. It is required in all size of organizations. If it is a large organization, the more number of people, the more number of resources, the higher number of capital investment, the higher is the need of management. But at the same time, even if the organization is small, the need of management is essential. All levels of organization management is needed, whether it is a top level, whether it is a middle level or a lower level. Management is required in all levels, and same is the case with the areas. So in every organization we see different areas functioning. There is the finance area, for example. Let's say that there is a human resource area, then there are human resources, then there is a marketing functioning, which requires to do regular market researches and get to have certain kind of research information about marketing and the needs of market changes, the segmentation and demographic changes in the market. So marketing is also a very essential activity. Then there is IT departments in organizations. So it is like whatever area of operation you talk about, management is required, because if there is no management, the activities will not be aligned together for a common purpose. So it's basically that it is needed everywhere in organizations, and managers must perform the essential functions of management of planning, organizing, controlling and leading to achieve the goals in a desirable manner. To improve that how organizations are managed, management is needed, because if we talk about poor management scenarios, let us say if there are poor management in an organization, the organization will not be able to achieve the goals. For example, the customers will be lost, the kind of market reputation will fall, the clients will not be satisfied, because the things, if are not intact well, the execution of the activities, their terms and contracts with the company, the quality of the products, the kind of other activities, let's say that their salary checks or their payments, they will all be all pending. So if there is irregularity in management activities, the relationship between the stakeholders will also be affected. So poor management in itself is very, very visible, and it leads to bad reputation and bad name to the company. So poor management has to be avoided at all cases. So we could say that in organization, no matter what kind of activity it is, no matter what type of organization it is, in organizations there is an essential need of management to address its stakeholders, to work with people, to transform activities into real goals, to align those activities and organize those resources effectively and efficiently. Management is very, very essential. So management is a need of organization, and because we need with and because we interact with organizations every day, management is a constant and a regular activity, and it is pervasive. It requires at all levels in an organization, and it is also required all the time. So if you miss out management, you will end up with the poor management, and poor management is much visible to the other people. It is very much leading to some incidences which lead to chaos, some discrepancies. So basically it is about identifying well in time that the plans are in sync with the execution, and if you really want that, there has to be management in its essence present in an organization. Another reason to understand that why management is so important is the reality of its work. Now, the purpose is that once you, for example, graduate from your colleges or whatever degrees you are pursuing or whatever learnings you are taking, or whatever kind of businesses you want to start, there will be a need of management. Either you will be managed, or whether you will be managing other people. Either you will be in a role of hiring managers, or either you will be the one who will be managing the resources in an organization as a manager yourself. So wherever management is required, managers are required, and for that reality of the work, because you have to work with people, you have to work and align the other resources, management and its understanding is essential. And if you don't see yourself managing, you will be managed. So in any case, management will be required. So that is basically, any work will not take place if there is no management, and that in itself is the reality of the work. So in a nutshell, we could say that the management need is universal, its application is universal, no matter what is the nature of organization, what is the size of organization, what level of activity in an organization has to be organized, management is essential. So irrespective of the size, irrespective of the nature, irrespective of the purpose of organization, irrespective of the level where it is required, the need of management is universal, and this itself sets the ground for the importance of studying management as a subject discipline, because it is transforming as per the contemporary needs of organization, that how the environment is evolving and how the organizations also are exposed to new challenges, and to achieve all of those challenges within that constraint of the resources, the activities have to be well managed. Even if you are doing good planning and if you are not able to execute them better, there is no purpose of that planning. That planning will be futile. So the management is about the essence of all activities, and it is the force behind all organized efforts.